Good afternoon, everybody. Saturday, May 14th, approximately quarter after 1 in the afternoon. I hope you're all having a fine weekend. And I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video because the review I did at the end of last week's video was kind of short. So I wanted to give you my overall impressions with the antennas that I decided to test last week. And please don't mind the kitty cat in the background. She's in heat, so if you hear her meowing and squealing, I promise she's not being murdered. She just needs to be fixed. All pun intended. Anyway, so my thoughts of last week's test. It was a nightmare. I tried 12 different takes with my first cell phone to try to get everything together, and it kept crashing. Then, not to top that, but I was shooting that video with no power. I had the generator going just to keep my computer up and running for the software going, because I had Mr. Tony out there, and he had offered me to help me with the video last week and didn't want to make it a waste of his time. But we overcame, got the video shot, and at that point we were 7-8 hours, almost 8 hours into shooting the video, and was just an all-out nightmare. So the conditions were not ideal. The power was out, and still went ahead with it because doggone it, this is ham radio, and we do what we have to do to get the job done, and we did. So final thoughts. Okay, we're going to start from square one with the Baofeng antenna. Junk. As soon as you get these antennas, throw them away. It would work as a backup. So if you crush an antenna, need a backup antenna, throw it away or keep it. This should be your last resort. For expense and budget, all of these antennas will fit any budget. Really, if you really want to budget it for ham radio, you have ham antennas such as like Diamond and other manufacturers that can far surpass the cost of these antennas and really do not really give you much more performance as the cheaper brands, as I proved this past weekend. Now, Nagoya 701, this is a good antenna. It does a really good job, but I feel like I've put this through its paces. I've probably bent the windings in it, so the overall performance of this antenna has degraded over time. But I have dropped it radio first onto the antenna where it's kinked it, and you can see it's kind of not straight, not straight like it used to be when it was out of the box. So it looks kind of like it's limping over, kind of like a bad back, So still a good antenna for the money. Works really well, especially if you have clean lines of sight to a repeater. I don't recommend this for simplex. Okay, so there's one good thing. Now the ultra whip, I still have that on the 878 downstairs. Didn't bother taking that off. Not really ideal for simplex communications because the surface area is so small and it whips around so much in the wind that we were getting picket fencing in the video, and picket fencing means that stuttering audio. It sounds like you're moving and going past telephone poles at a high rate, and I wasn't even moving. That was just the antenna itself flipping around. So on windy days, probably not ideal. Nice calm day, would I use that antenna for simplex? No, I would not. Definitely an antenna that would be used for repeater use, and all of these antennas have their purpose. They have a place, so you don't want to limit the antenna that you're using. Now the Nagoya 771, okay, now let's get to this because I might have confused some of you in the video. This is actually the NA320A. This is the tri-band version of the 771. It has the same exact specifications with the SWR ratings and the dBi gain ratings of the 771 antenna, only it has 220 megahertz capability built into the antenna. Decent performer for what it was. Like I said, the conditions were not at all ideal, so it really couldn't shine through. But overall, it did its job, and next time I go out to do any kind of antenna testing, I'm going to make sure that I'm stepping away from my vehicle a little further too, because believe it or not, your vehicle can also create interference with the stock, factory radio antenna that's on your vehicle. It can affect reception and transmission. So, here's the one that really impressed me. Now, you guys might think this is a gimmick, and it very well could be. But considering the conditions outside, let's turn down my radio here so we don't have interruptions. I do this all the time. I should know by now to turn that down. But at least I'm monitoring local repeaters here at home. Even in the rain, even being next to power lines, this is very highly directional, but it's very efficient. It does a really good job in whatever direction that you're pointing it, whether it be simplex or going through repeaters. This was the second best on reception, almost tied with transmission as far as being able to receive on the other end. I would recommend this antenna for somebody that wants to do mountain topping and wants to experiment with a small type of antenna like this, and or using it for fox hunt, because you can use your body as an attenuator. Now mind you, most of your reception is going to be from this flat surface area in each direction. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic, so I'm getting a little handsy here. I'm not trying to do that. So, facing, you have an antenna. If this antenna is facing a vertical or another kind of beam antenna, you're golden in, and it slowly starts to fade as you twist away. Okay, but fox hunts, guys. A lot of the new people do not know what fox hunts are, but this being as directional as it is, using your body as an attenuator to block out signals coming from behind you, pretty much projects all your reception, or gets the reception from forward face of it. So this can be a very efficient antenna for doing fox hunts. And Mike K3DO, he brought up a good point. It's kind of like a dumbed down J-pole antenna, but a little more directional. And they do say that this is omni, but you're not going to get the same kind of reception out to the sides or transmission out to the sides as you do from the flat surface of this antenna. So definitely has a good purpose, a great purpose for radio finding fox hunts. So awesome deal, awesome deal. Very impressed with that. So we're going to get back to this here in a second. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to know who watches and who doesn't, because I'm not going to put a description in the video. Got to watch the whole thing. Now, my final thoughts, the 42-inch Brie. King. That's all I can say. King of the antennas. This thing outperformed all the antennas, hands down, bar none. I mean, come on, look. You've got 42 inches of surface area for reception. Okay, now mind you, I have this folded right now, but still, 42 inches of surface area. Okay, easily got back 4 bars full quieting from 5.25 miles out. In bad weather, next to my vehicle, did an amazing job. This is definitely the king of the 6 in my book because it's multi-versatile. However, it does have one downfall, this being made from basically a tape measure with heat shrink around it. Okay, over time these will fail. In a high wind day, this will collapse on you, and you'll have to keep trying to put it up, and over time that'll just get worse. So you want to use this on a calm day. It will work great for simplex, and it will work great for repeater use as well. Good antenna to have all around, very inexpensive, and I would say if you use it daily, it might last you, I don't know, a year. And that's if you're folding it down every time. If you can avoid folding it back and forth a lot, this antenna could last you a lot of years. So keep that in mind. The wear on this antenna is going to show much faster than any other antenna you're going to purchase, just because of the design of this antenna as a whole. Well, that being said, guys, that was my follow-up, and my results speak for themselves. We do want to do this again when we have better conditions and I can get away from my vehicle. And now that I think I have your attention, and I'm not going to put anything in the description below because I want to see how many of you are actually watching these videos and see how many people share these videos. I'd like you guys to share these with people that are now just now coming into the hobby. I want to be a good help to those off the air, so they don't feel as uncomfortable getting on the air, and I can teach lingo and parts and things of that nature. So that being said, I still have this. I never even got 10 comments from last video. So I'd like you guys to subscribe, and instead of comments, whoever is my 100th subscriber, I'm up to 86 now, I believe. So if I can get 100 subscribers, whoever is number 100, I will contact you immediately. Just leave me a way to contact you, either via email, or you can leave a comment as soon as you subscribe and you're my 100th subscriber. We're going to mail this out to you as a door prize. And believe me, I don't want to get rid of this thing. This is nice, but it's inexpensive and I can replace it. But if it's a way to save cost for you for a decent little experimental antenna, hey, I'd rather do that for you and get your views and get the information of this hobby out there so that we can get people involved and make this a little more popular. So listen, guys, I appreciate all the support that I have gotten from everybody at this point. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys, can learn something from my experience. I'm sure the veterans out there, this is all common knowledge to them, but, try to do what I can to help everybody out. Now, when I'm asking you to subscribe, I'm not, like I've stated hundreds of times before, I'm not in this to make money. I just want to pass my knowledge down to others. And the more I see that people are subscribing or sharing or thumbs upping, giving me comments, whatever mistakes I may make, put it in there. I'm up for that. But, rude comments, you'll get pinned to the top. I don't care about you. If you have a rude comment, keep it to yourself or put yourself on display. We'll pin you to the top of the list. That being said, guys, I appreciate your time, appreciate your patience. 7-3, this is Aaron with Farmhouse Ham Radio, KC3QPJ, and I'll be QRT. Have a good one, guys.